Welcome back, everyone, to the Real 33 podcast. I am Rick Haney, and I'm really excited about today's episode. We've got some really great stuff on the line. With me, as always, is Brandon Shaw. What's going on, brother?
Man, I'm excited about today's broadcast, man. It's been a minute. We've had a lot going on, and now we've got a lot to talk about. So it's going to be really exciting. We've already got Bill Allen on, Cru Jones. He's already on here. Say hello, Bill.
I'm on. Hey guys, how's it going? Good to hear your voices.
Yeah.
He's always on.
He is on.
He's the guy.
He is ready. He's like the Cru Jones in waiting at all times.
Yeah.
Listen, Bill, we got a lot to go over in just a short amount of time. We've got a special guest we're going to bring on here in a few minutes. We won't say who that is just yet, but let's talk about what's going on in the world of Bill Allen and Rad for the last 30 days.
Well, the last 30 days, I've been kind of pushing my new book that's out on barnesandnoble.com, My Rad Career, but also been getting ready for our trip to Bentonville, Arkansas next weekend. We'll be downtown doing some bike events. There's going to be a Strider race and a BMX, old school BMX bike show. There's a pump track down there. I don't know if you guys know it, but Bentonville is the self-proclaimed mountain bike capital of the world. So they're spending all sorts of money and effort bringing the bike culture to Bentonville. So I'm there to do a shoot for Canyon Bicycles. But next weekend, we will be there doing some events, including a screening of Rad that I will attend.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty historic, Rick, because let me tell you something. Me and Bill have been doing this for about, like I said, 11 years, and we've never been in an actual movie theater, which most people have never seen Rad in a movie theater for that matter. And this will be the first time in at least 6 years where he's been in a movie theater and watched the movie Rad with other people. I think the last time was maybe in Canada, if I'm not mistaken, Bill. Is that correct?
Probably.
And that was kind of a special event. I didn't know that was a real movie theater, but this is the real deal. And what a great place. I mean, Bentonville it's Bike Bentonville is what they go by, Bike Bentonville. It's the capital, the mountain bike capital of the world now for mountain biking. And we've got a lot of cool stuff. I know people, it's last minute, like a week's notice, but people are already emailing me, texting me, sending me messages through Facebook saying they're heading to see us. So it's going to be great, man. We're going to get there Friday night, maybe grab some food and drinks, talk to a couple of the Rad Army members. And then we got a full day planned for Saturday and Sunday, okay? So the screening is going to be at 7 p.m. What's important for people to know is that at 7 o'clock, me and Bill will be there, and at some point we'll do a Q&A either after, before, whatever. And there's another screening of Rad at like 9:30. So try to go to the 7 o'clock one, and then after the 7 o'clock, maybe me and Bill are going to go over and have a little after party somewhere, one of the local pubs over there. And that'll be where we do like some trivia and some other fun stuff. So now let's talk about, we've got that knocked out of the way, Bill. Who do we have on today, man? Who's our special guest?
Well, he's one of the people that is so iconic, his role in the movie, but we don't hear from him nearly enough. Part of the reason is he's a new dad, but we've kept in contact through the years, certainly over the Facebook, but face-to-face, and he's just one of the all-around great guys connected to Rad. He's a physical education expert. He can tell you about that. But we're very lucky to have Mophead Boy, Dan McDonough. Say hi, Dan.
What's up, everyone?
Welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, man, great to be on with you guys.
Hey, before we get started, everyone's wondering, how are the shins holding up? Are they good?
The shins are still kind of healing, but it's one of those things that I think I've been tarnished for life with that one.
These things take time.
But it does. Wesley can kick hard. Let me tell you, she was certainly using her dominant leg for that one. If Cru wouldn't have come to the rescue back then, I think I might have broke my shin. So I don't know if I could have. I probably couldn't do what I'm doing today, which is, in the kind of the fitness industry. If it wasn't for Cru coming to my rescue, probably would have shattered my shins.
Fantastic.
Well, Dan, in the 80s, that was very shameful. Something you wouldn't want to talk about, although it was on the movie. But in 2020, you actually have support groups for things like that, abuse by women. So just know you're not alone, my friend.
There's no shame.
Absolutely no shame whatsoever.
And now you have friends you can talk to.
Yes, it's true. I got a support group. This is always important.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your experience. Now, were you you were a local when Rad was filmed in your hometown, correct?
That's absolutely correct. So it was in the transition between grade 9 and grade 10. So in Canada, from junior high to high school. And
Mhm.
it just so happens that my junior high school drama teacher had a casting agency. And they came into town. They were looking for a few people to kind of support locally, and so I got set up for an audition with Hal Needham himself. That was exceptionally cool. And
Wow.
so I kind of spent kind of August, kind of into September, filming Rad. It was pretty cool because my first year in high school, I got to miss a couple days of school because I was on set filming a movie. So that was pretty cool in itself. And
Unreal.
I was actually 15 at the time, but if you look at my character, I look like probably 3 or 4 years younger than I actually was. Who knows if that's one of the reasons I got the role, but I went in and I read for Hal, which was really cool. And he said, "I love your hair. Don't touch it. I want you to grow that thing as thick as you possibly can." So what I don't know to this day is, if I can't remember if actually the character's name was Mophead or it was something else. And then he saw my head of hair and said, "It looks like a mop, so we're going to call him Mophead Boy." I have yet to get that answer, but here we
Well,
are.
you're listed in the credits as Mophead Boy.
Yeah, I know. So I'm wondering if they may have changed it after my audition, but who knows? So it was the right place, right time. Had a blast. Was filmed in Calgary in the fall, as Bill can remember, and the leaves were amazing, and it was just Bowness Park was just a flurry of activity. The whole city of Calgary was just supporting this film being made, and it was just so cool to be on set watching all the riders do their thing. When I wasn't filming my stuff, I was make sure I was did every excuse to skip school and watch as much of it as I can. It was really cool to be a part of.
Oh, that's
Now,
fantastic.
during that situation, you said you're what, a freshman, I guess, in high school?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Did you get any kind of, I guess, picked on or, hated on or loved, or what was the reaction from your peers?
Well, it's really interesting because I would have to, I'd kind of say, this is kind of stereotypical, but I say kind of growing up being a redhead and being a young kid, you got freckles on your face. You're kind of picked on back then because you had red hair anyway. So it was kind of serendipitous to what I was kind of actually going through, being the skinny redheaded kid. But it's really interesting. As soon as the film came out, which I think it might have been, I'm not quite sure when it actually premiered. It's escaped, but I remember going to the movie theater in Calgary and going with my family and going with my friends. And then when the movie launched, it was completely different when I went back to school. It was kind of this whole different newfound respect being a part of a movie that was kind of shot in your hometown. And I remember I still have to this day, I've got the actual Rad movie poster that was hanging in the theater glass. I wanted the poster. And the theater manager said, "Okay, you can have it, but we can't give it until the movie is done. Then I'll give you the poster." Well, it came down about a week later, right? It only stayed in Calgary for about a week. So I got that actual poster. I've got it framed. I in the Calgary Herald, I've kept every newspaper clipping that went in the entertainment section. I've got my script. I've got my contract that
You have the original script?
I do. I have the original script for my stuff.
Oh, wow.
Really cool.
Bill, I'm loving everything he's saying, aren't you?
He's amazing, dude. He's a font.
I want to see it all.
I've got a picture of me and Cru. I mean, of course, he's not going to remember because they probably took a million pictures back then. But there's a picture of me and Cru, and my hair is just like this big. And I got a picture of me and Eddie, me and Cru, and it was just, yeah. And what I can remember is just, Bill, aka Cru, was just incredibly friendly and giving, and he made time to take pictures with everyone. He made time to speak to everyone, and so he was an incredible, humble actor back then, and he's still that same way today. So I thought it was incredibly cool to be a part of that.
Now you were a part. There were a lot of other extras that came right from Calgary as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Were you friendly with, or did you know any of them before the filming, or do you know any of them today?
So recently on I think it was I'm not sure which Facebook page it was, but Scott Fleury got on there recently, and he was talking about him riding a BMX in the bike. So he worked in a local bike shop where I used to buy all my bike parts from. And so Scott, I know, was an extra rider. He was an extra riding in the movie. I'm not quite sure what scenes he was in, but I knew him really well because I used to go shop at his bike shop and buy all my stuff from there. And then it's funny, I got to know Jamie Clark a bit deeper, like about a decade after the movie, when he became a mountaineer. And he climbed Mount Everest, and then he
cool.
and he opened a Patagonia store in Calgary. So I got to know him after the fact, which I thought was really, really cool. We met on set here and there and kind of had brief conversations, but I got to know him I don't want to say on a deeper level, but I just got to know him better a decade or so after the movie, which was really interesting. And beyond that, I haven't really kept into contact with anybody else. After that, what about Wesley? Like, where is she? Does anyone know where Laura Jacoby is?
I don't. I know her brother. Her brother's an actor, Billy, and I ran into him at auditions for years. I understand that Laura got out of the business not long after Rad. She did a few other jobs, including Full House. I believe there was some conversations between her and Laura on the set of Full House. But yeah, I don't know what has become of her.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. I thought, how cool would it be for us to get together now and reenact that scene like 30 years later? Like,
that would be incredible.
Well, we could pay somebody to actually step into that role, and maybe some sort of female wrestler, just make it a little more even this time.
Oh, yeah, cool. But yeah, so that was
maybe we could get Foxy to do it. She's living up there, right? Isn't she she's in Calgary?
Yeah, well, I actually live in Portland, Oregon. That's where I live currently.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Right, so my family is still in Calgary. My parents, my brother, my sister, they're all still there. And Bonus Park, where that school where we shot my scene. I don't believe the pink elephant is still on that lawn, but I know it was there for quite some time after and became quite the iconic movie scene in Calgary.
We have it tracked down. We know it's at a flea market.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's on display somewhere because Kelly actually put that on one of her Facebook posts not that long ago.
Okay. Yeah.
So we know it's out there.
Yeah. And I've still got the shirt that I bought in my second scene when Wesley showed me the ripped shirt. I think I did a post lately back in the summertime. I've still got that shirt in my lockbox. It's a bit tight. It's a bit tight. Kind of looks like a spandex cycling shirt now if I put it on, but I've still got that shirt. But yeah, it's just been really cool to see. And now that we see Rad on Amazon Prime and and iTunes, I'm just like, it's just incredible to see this resurgent and this new generation of people becoming interested in the movie. It's just boggles my mind in a good way, but it's just amazing.
What about the Bart's the Man shirt you had on?
You know what? I had that shirt. It might still be at my parents' place, but I know they allowed me to have that. I don't know where it is, but I need to track it down.
Yeah, you do. Dan, I can't tell you, there's so little actual movie props out there, almost none. I mean, just some of the riders kept their gear, maybe some of their jerseys, some of their bikes. But I know the guy who bought the bike that's on the poster that RL is on. He paid $70,000 for that bicycle. He paid $10,000 for the bicycle post. So find that shirt because it's just coming from you. These Rad fans, they're rabid, man. I'm telling you, that could.
Locks off and throw the shirt in there and sign it, and it's $1,000.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's yeah. I mean, are we actually?
I wouldn't sell it if I were you.
Are we on camera here, or is this just voice?
It's just audio. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, because I've got my lockbox right beside me. I could literally show you my Rad Racing red shirt.
Oh, cool.
But I don't have, but anyhow, so I've got all that stuff, right? I've kept all the pictures. I kept this because obviously I was underage at the time, right? So my parents had to sign the actual contract for me to do the movie, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember getting I think it was, it was right. I'm 14 years old and I'm getting paid at that. I'm getting I think it was $250 a day. Now, as a 14-year-old getting $250 a day to do something you love to do, to be in this really cool movie, I'm like, Shazam! I got a paycheck, $250 for.
Well, that was good money in 1985.
Absolutely, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many total scenes were you in, Dan? I mean, how many total scenes were you in? Did you get paid daily, or did you get paid?
Yeah, I got paid daily, right? So I mean, I was in 2 scenes, right? There was the bigger scene, which was the schoolyard. Come on, Wesley, we're having lots of fun. Check out of town, Jack. you think your brother's so cool. He's nothing next to, and then, blah, 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 blah. And then there was the other scene when I go and buy the t-shirt. Please,
Right.
Wesley, everybody else has one. Don't give him the rip one. Right. So I get my shirt and I go away. But I was probably on set for 3 or 4 days in total that I got paid for, but I hung out for a lot longer than that. Let me tell you, I think my parents are so sick and tired of driving me, because I lived on the opposite side of the city. They had to drive me all the time. So it was just, I'm sure I just drove them nuts.
Well, you got a front row seat at Hell Track.
Yeah.
You were in that scene.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, your parents like, he's got 20 days of work at $250 a day. We've been taking the kid to work every single day.
Yeah.
They get the paycheck. It's like 3 days.
Yeah. But
how was it dating for you, bro? It's freshman in high school. Let's talk about the senior chicks you picked up after being in the movie.
Well, I'll tell you. I got to tell you, I didn't have a date for prom. I went solo. I didn't kind of really hit my stride, I suppose, till kind of after I graduated high school. I was a skinny redheaded kid, and then it's interesting. It's serendipitously, right? In my senior year in high school, which is kind of grade 12 here, that's when I kind of found the weight room and found fitness, and that's what kind of shaped me into where I am today, right? Like I did theater, I did a little bit of acting, kind of out of college. I was in a few episodes of the X-Files when they filmed in Vancouver, Canada. Kind of in the mid 90s, but that's kind of where I thought I was going to go. But then I just fell into fitness. Right. And I think my on-camera experience, my theater experience, lent to what I do now as a career, being on fitness videos and being able to stand up in front of crowds and people and just speak and motivate. And so, it all kind of played into what I'm doing now. And would I go back to it? Absolutely, I would. Some people say now when I wear a ball cap and my beard, I actually look like Ron Howard. Like I've got that several times now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was always kind of a passion of mine, right from kind of elementary school, right up and through high school. Then into college, I continued to do some theater, and then just kind of fell into fitness in my early 20s, and here we are.
Now, how often does Rad come up? Are you out and about like, hey man, I used to ride bikes as a kid. I remember that kid. Do you ever get recognized?
No, not really, unless someone brings it up. Like, I mean, it's one of those things where, I'll get the odd person wanting me to sign a picture, and then this gentleman made this oil painting of me as of late, which was pretty cool. But if you're if you're a Rad fan in the Rad Army, I kind of get some attention that way. But my sister and brother are like, oh my God, is this Rad thing still going on 35 years later? I'm like, hey,
Yes,
I'm just riding the wave. The wave, and yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But I'm the only thing I really regret is I haven't had a chance to make it to any of the anniversary gatherings, right? Like I couldn't make it to the 30th anniversary because I under normal circumstances, I travel quite a bit. I lived in New Zealand for 4 years, from 2004 to 2008. Then I moved to California, and that's when I came down and had some coffee with Bill one day when I was down in the LA area. But it's just been serendipitous timing that I haven't been able to make one of these live gatherings. But I tell you, man, I'm going to do everything I can to make the next one that we have.
Very cool.
I think there's going to be a lot of them coming up.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
And now that I've got a son who's 2 months old, right? I'd like, at some point I'm going to sit him down and kind of get him to watch this movie. Just kind of, hey, check this out. Look what your old man did. Younger.
There you go. Well, I got to tell you, Dan, and I've told Bill this, I don't know how many times, but the thing about Rad is that the characters were executed so well that kids, my age, and I'm assuming you and I aren't that far apart in age, but being in high school, middle school, and high school in the 80s, Rad, the way you guys handled yourselves as those characters, we all felt like we knew you, and that is, I think, pretty much what the magic of the movie is today for all of us, is that it was real. We felt like we knew you guys. So job well done, man. It's just a lasting legacy.
Well, I'm glad you guys think that. I think it's part to do with the script. Obviously, has to do with the casting for sure. And it was just really interesting to see, a lot of careers propel after that. When you get
for sure.
Bart Connor came in, not really any acting experience, right? And then the gymnast, and then Jamie Clark. So it's just, it's really interesting to see where people are these days. And some people are still in the industry, and some people that was kind of their only movie experience or acting experience. But it was just, it's just it's just really cool to be a part of something that's so iconic, and that, just when you kind of maybe just, I never forget about it, because I kind of have my rad room where I've got my theater poster up and I've got all memorabilia, but then something comes up and someone hits you up on Facebook and asks you for an autograph or want to talk about it. And I never take that stuff for granted. And I'll always make time to have a conversation like this. Or I don't know why someone wants an autograph from Mophead Boy, but if someone wants to go out of their way to ask for one, I'm going to oblige that, right? Like, I'm not going to say no, because I think it's part of our duty and our responsibility to kind of that's my dog in the background shaking his collar. Going on. But yeah, it's just, I'm incredibly thankful. I'm incredibly honored to be a part of something that 35 years later is just, I honestly think now that you can get it on Apple and you can on iTunes, you can get it on Amazon Prime, like, you're going to see this whole resurgent new generation of people going, this is just really cool. And yeah.
My kids love it.
Yeah.
4 and 8 years old.
And there was rumor and there's talk that you're supposed to be the child of Bob. You remember the guy at the very end of the movie stealing the popcorn?
Yeah, Bob, who worked at the restaurant. Well, you never know. It could be. It could be. Bob, not Blob.
Yeah.
It's Bob, not Bob.
Yeah, we're not talking about in the movie. We're talking about in real life.
In real life.
You had your DNA tested or anything?
I haven't done that.
I have to ask.
Yeah, because no one in my immediate family has red hair, so you never know.
Oh boy,
you never know.
Oh my goodness.
Away the layers.
Man, you are a good sport, dude. I know he's a new dad. Congratulations. And that means this man is as busy as it gets. I don't want to keep you too long, but thanks so much for chiming in, man.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I'll be 50 in January, and I just happened to pick up my phone 25 minutes ago and see a Facebook Messenger post. Like, this was meant to be, guys. If I wouldn't have opened my phone, I wouldn't have seen the message and we wouldn't be here. So I'm like, honey, can I make time to do this? Like, you got to do this. Get on there. So
I can't thank you enough for being on here, Dan. It's really been a pleasure talking with you, and you always have a place here on Real 33 anytime you want to come back.
Hey, anytime, guys. Anytime. I'm happy to continue to contribute, be a part of something greater than ourselves, to be a part of a legacy that obviously is going to continue to future generations of kids. And what I find really interesting, right? If I take a look at back in the day when we grew up, right? You couldn't get us inside if you paid us, right? Our parents had to whistle, be home when the street lights come on. All right, I'll see you in 5 hours, right? And now you can't even get kids outside, right? So I find that really interesting, in the career that I do now, when I see just how much obesity we see in our children and our youth these days. Back in the day back in 85, 86, you couldn't stop us. You just couldn't stop us from playing. You couldn't stop us from riding the bikes and playing from back in my day, playing street hockey in the wintertime, pulling the hockey nets out, it was BMXing in the summertime, street hockey in the fall and the wintertime. And you couldn't keep us inside. And now you can't get kids outside, so I find that part of my responsibility now is to try and, to not only educate parents on the importance of physical exercise. And that's important, because, kids are like sponges. And if you have inactive parents, you're generally going to see inactive children, right? So the more we can do together with our kids, and that's what I've committed to being a dad, is just trying to expose my son to as much opportunity, take him out hiking. And I've already bought him his first balance bike. He can't get on it until he's 1, but the bike is there waiting for him, right? So, if I think about that physical activity and how it relates.
That's a great idea.
So
that's great.
Anyhow, yeah.
Well, as a physical fitness,
Yes.
I just want to ask you, how would you rate this? I mean, that's impressive.
That's a best in class gun show. That is a best.
I'm sorry the people at home can't see that, but my God, we're all impressed.
You could open a bottle of beer with that bicep, brother. I'm telling you, sharp. And I hope one day soon, Bill, that we can be sharing a cold one and just hanging out and just, for lack of a better word, shooting the shit, and get as many people as we can.
We will do it, my friend.
Those days are coming, my friend.
Movie theater with all of you guys. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, right.
Someday.
Well, Dan, thanks so much for coming on the show. You're welcome to stay on and hang out. I know you got a kid to go deal with, and you got to get past Bill's bicep you just saw. So stay around, or we'll talk to you next time, whatever you want to do, my brother.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I do have to go because it's now dinner time. It's 10 to 8 here on the West Coast. So I fed the kid. Now I got to feed the wife.
Thanks.
All right, get to it, man. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Let's do this anytime. I'm happy to be a part of anything you guys want.
Well, in that case, we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Take
man.
care, guys.
Take care. See
Much
ya.
love. Love.
There he is, man.
Love
Guys, Mophead Boy Dan.
Stay rad, everyone.
Thanks.
Stay rad, brother. Thanks for checking out The Real 33. Be sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts and follow us on Facebook at Real 33 Podcast.